Yeah, there's definitely a much more holistic view when you're able to take in all this information and then be able to leverage it in a way to be better stewards of the whole scenario, right? Whether it's their situation at that time, their history, how do you want to approach them going forward into the future? Now, with that said, though, you have two customers, right? You have your customer's customer, generically speaking, right? There's a person who is taking out the loan or they're ending up at some point being serviced, and then maybe ultimately, unfortunately, they need to be in that position where there is some form of delinquency. But you also work with the organizations that it's their customer, and you have to find a way for your technology, your processes, the way you leverage, how you enable them to deal with regulatory concerns and giving them the tool sets to address that. I know in the past, there's long integrations with older systems or systems that were much more structured in a way where it was one to one. This is a premise system. And I know that the future, more and more companies are trying to figure out how do I engage with my technology stack in a much more virtual cloud oriented way. And then also, how can I do so obviously in a secure manner? And then ultimately, how can I do so without it being such a heavy lift, right? Do I need this massive, massive technical team and resources to make this happen? What are you seeing at CGI or even in the industry around adopting that area, going from the customers, going from just premise to some form of cloud adoption, and then ultimately where do you see the lift that companies have to do to make that transition? It's still a massive list with an army of people, or do you see the technology adopting something easier, quicker, faster?
So it's very interesting. In this past few years, probably I would say 5 years, right? That there has been a greater recognition of how systems have been more or less siloed within one's organization, right? However large or small that organization is, it has been a constant struggle for most organization, however big or small they are. And that recognition has really started happening about five, maybe a little longer than that. But fundamentally what changed, and I see this as whenever you see a challenge, there is an opportunity with it, right? When COVID hit,
Hmm.
the challenge of how nimble you are, how simple you are, became a little more relevant, right? It's interesting. Some of our clients, quickly adapted to the remote work within no time, and few others took months to get there, right? And it's very evident, and you could see where the productivity was lost, right? And organization who could not get there quickly for various reason, right? No fault of theirs, but for various reason, they could not get there quickly. So what has happened is that the opportunity about the challenge, it's very bad what happened during COVID. I mean, there's been a lot of personal losses everywhere. But for the industry, it has given an opportunity to double down on their digital transformation. It has become a very constant theme wherever we go. No matter we're solving for credit or collections, it is holistically, right? Everybody has acknowledged, not just acknowledged, has put their full force behind in moving away from those traditional challenges that once had, to a much more openly integrated. You use all the right words of cloud native, right? Being open to being cloud, because that gives them the scale and quick to adopt to, right? Back a few years ago, if I had a conversation with some of our customers saying that, hey, listen, we're going to have your credit origination collection system on a cloud, and don't worry, you'll be fine. Uh, uh, you would have seen people literally, stand up and leave the room, right? Or at least raise a big concern out of it. But today there is openness to that, right? And that openness has come because the understanding of technology has become a little more clear. But at the same time, the urgency of transforming has become much more important, right? And that urgency drives the intent, and that is where we are today, where more and more organizations have realized that that they have to break down the silos, and being cloud native, being open to cloud strategies is probably one of the best way to go there. Now, here with CGI, we give utmost importance to security, right? You use the word security because it's important. We take very very strong focus and care, and every solution that we call as SaaS offering from our IP and product and solutioning, we make sure that security has no compromises place. So one of the reasons that we very strongly support our own private cloud vision is for that reason. We do have our own private cloud, and we focus on investing in that space as well, along with being open to multi-cloud as and when things open up. So security is important for us. Cloud is the way forward, and we make sure private cloud CGI provides the safe and security that most clients would look for, and not take away the flexibility and scalability that they're looking for.